It's real easy cooking with Robert, and today we're doing ultimate flex. We're making meatloaf with bacon wrap on it. It should be good. Alright, so we want to start with 3 pounds of ground beef. This is from our local producer. Start at 3 pounds. They're roughly in about 1 pound packages. You know, the same as you buy them anywhere else. Put them in a large bowl. And then you want to add 2 eggs. If you can add about 1 egg to 1 pound, but if you add more than 1 egg to a pound of hamburger, it comes out kind of weird tasting then. It doesn't taste like hamburger so much as it tastes like some egg concoction. Now, we want to add a bunch of paprika, of course. Whole bunch. It's about a teaspoon of paprika. And we're going to want to add some breadcrumbs. Now, surprisingly, finding breadcrumbs was difficult to find. Not all stores carry them, and then the grocery store I went to had like, oh, so many. They must have had. They had shelves that were 8 feet wide, all different brands. So, I mean, they had like 60, 80 different types of brands of breadcrumbs. It was crazy stupid. Three pounds of ground beef, we're going to add a ½ cup of breadcrumbs. We can always add more if it turns out that the eggs ended up being a little bit bigger or wetter than normal. Now comes the frying part. Make sure you already washed your hands. Take off any jewelry if you can, because now you get to get in and knead it all together. Yes, you could probably use a Cuisinart machine or something, a dough maker to do it, but come on, it's meatloaf. Part of it is to get in there with your hands and mush it all up. Now, let me slide this over a bit. We gotta add onion yet too, but I like to mix all of the dry ingredients in first so you don't bruise the onion up. Where you just fold it in and push down. It's the easiest way to knead it all together. It kneads it without breaking the meat structure apart or making it mushy. And it's a good way to mix it. Now let me put this aside. Let me wash my hands so we can chop up that onion. Okay, now we take the knife and we chop the onion. We're just going to dice it up a little bit, peel off the outer paper because no one wants to eat anything like that. I hate when some people think they're saving extra. No, that one's really hard to come off. We're just going to take that whole outer layer then. There's different tricks you can do, like don't cut the root end off of the onion so that it doesn't make you cry as much. I usually don't have a problem with that. Onions don't make me tear up. Alright. No, I'm sure this ain't the proper technique for chopping an onion, but I don't care. Because it gets the job done, so it's a good enough technique, ain't it? Add 1 onion, kind of chopped. As it didn't break apart very good. We'll chop them up a little chop finer. Alright, this we add to the ground beef. That's going to provide some moisture as it cooks, so it's not just greasy, and it'll absorb a lot of the grease to it, and it is a little bit of filler, you know, it stretches your meat a little bit more. And now once again, same thing, fold and push, fold and push, fold and push. You can chop the onions finer if you like. I like mine a little bit thicker so I can taste them. Okay, now, as always, I made more than what will fit in one pan, because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to make 2 of them, one now and one later, or you can also save this for instant mini pot. I'll show you later on. The trick is you have to push it in with some force to work it in and work the air bubbles out. Oh look, I might get all 3 pounds in it. Just a little too big to do that. That won't work. That, as tempting as that would be, that's going to probably make a mess as it overflows on. I do have an overflow pan. So, should we try it? Let's experiment. Cooking is about experimenting. Normally I cap them off right at the top or a little bit below, and then the meat shrivels up. But we'll see what happens if we go a little bit bigger and bacon wrap the top to hold it in place. If anything does fall down, we do have a drip pan underneath to catch all the grease. I'll make it a little taller too. Onion did get to me a little bit. So we got it in the pan like that. Now we want to add some bacon and some ketchup. I add a little bit of ketchup now. And yes, you are going to get your hands dirty again. And you gotta grab some bacon too. This ain't very good bacon. Don't like this bacon. Alright, so the ketchup, you spread it around a thin layer. It's basically going to be the glue to hold the bacon in place as it cooks. Otherwise all the grease from the bacon will make it slide out of place. And then you layer your bacon back and forth over it. doesn't look like it's going to be good when it cooks up. I don't fully cover all of the bacon, all of the meat with bacon, I mean. You want to have some open. It's just to add some bacon flavor to the top of the meat and cook down. And as the bacon cooks, it's going to provide a cap on top along with the sauce to help keep the moisture in. You could try cover it with tin foil and toothpicks to keep the tin foil off, but it's a big hassle and doesn't work too well. What I like to do is I take a second pan that's slightly bigger than my first one, and I put some water in it. The water helps transfers the heat from the first one through to the second one and provides some moisture up around it. And bam, it's like that. Then inside the oven, I do have a drip pan down there, an old cookie sheet that once again keeps the wife from yelling at me because I'm a messy cook. And the oven's set for 330 degrees. It should take about an hour and a half, 2 hours to cook, and we'll be back then. All right, it's been time. Temperature on the thermometer reads 160. So we pull this out. There we go. Don't that look like a hot mess? It's actually going to be really good. All right, let's cut off a piece here. Okay. After I get this one piece out, I'm going to have to scoop out some of the grease from the bacon. Because that didn't come out well as my first piece. Can't get the fork in there. And before it gets too soaked in all the grease, I'm going to drain this out real quick so the meat doesn't absorb all of it. There we go. I pulled a lot more of it out. Move that out of the way. Yeah, that looks better. That's how it should look if it's not. If you can actually get your fork in there. You can see the bacon should have added a lot of flavor. Onions are small, they're broken down. And of course, I like meatloaf with ketchup on it. We did put some ketchup on the outside edge, but as you can see, most of the bacon keeps it all down. It does keep it nice and moist though. So let's add for my dinner. I got some stovetop stuffing that I cooked. I say fluff it up with a fork. So we fluff it a little bit. Add some flavor. And then we add peas and carrots. Should always have a vegetable with your meals. And a little salt and vegetables. Alright, let's see. Whoops, get a new one. And let's see how this tastes. And food like that is why I'm never thin. So this has been real easy cooking with Robert. It's done. bunch of paprika, of course. Whole bunch. It's about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of paprika.